Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Right, so today we are gonna talk yet again about the private coaching sessions that I have been doing, and it seems that quite a few people have been enjoying them. So I did want to make a bit of a reminder video and also kind of like explain typically how it looks like in case you are interested. So far, vast majority of these sessions have been focused on Battlegrounds, and even though Battlegrounds are in the off-season period right now for a couple of weeks, there is still obviously quite a lot that we can go over with, which is basically a perfect start typically for the first session that I have been doing. But I have been getting more and more questions about general things in game, different game modes, perhaps Alliance War strategy or Alliance War planning and how to perform better in Alliance War or some other game modes. But most importantly, quite a lot of people do want a general guidance on the roster rank ups, the roster breakdown, things to work on, which champions to focus on in the near future and kind of like in a longer term future, as well as their mastery setups, specifically go and break down their current setups, tell them which ones to work on next, in what order, and things like that. And I did want to again post a reminder video that all of that we can basically do as long as it is MCOC related, and as long as you think that I can be of use to you. I am more than happy to provide some private guidance. If you do want, then at this point I do have quite a few references available as well, with quite a few people that already have had several of these sessions. Most of the people do want to do multiples of these in order to keep improving as well, but obviously if you just want kind of like the bare basics, that is more than fine with me also. So always they do cost as $50 per hour, and we do them via Discord screen share, where basically I am on the call with you, so we are having a conversation about, how do you approach the game, the things that you care for, value most in the game, how do you play, and then we go over your roster, masteries, everything else, and I do my best to advise you. There have been quite few people who have, for instance, previously struggled getting out of victory track, who have made it to finally the gladiator circuit, and there also have been people who have been previously in like Mysterium 1 or lower tiers of the Battlegrounds gladiator circuit upon the season finale, and this season that they have managed to finally break into Celestial 6 or Celestial 5. So I say that in order to emphasize the fact that as long as you are willing to put in some extra effort and work on things, then I am more than willing to provide guidance to newer and perhaps less experienced players, as well as some players who just in general would like to do somewhat better and improve. Again, provided given the fact that you guys think that there is something that I can teach you in a private session. Ultimately, obviously, majority of the advice can be found throughout my videos and guides, which is another thing that I do typically like to do. I like to give like a little bit of a homework to the players with a specific video suited to the topic or discussion at hand that I do think they could benefit from, whether those would be like specific champion guides or advice how to play specific champions, or something more generic about the AI manipulation or some more basic strategies. As well, obviously, that there is plenty to discuss about battleground strategies in general, because there is always a reason why the same people do better than others, even though, someone's roster might not be as great as some others. As we can see, majority of the top 100 biggest accounts, for instance, does not make it to the top 100 in the battlegrounds, and there's a very good reason for it, because there are specific things that matter more in battlegrounds, and as long as you do quote-unquote kind of crack the code, you will be much more competitive, even with more limited actual skill set. Like I have long said, I have absolutely no illusions about how quote-unquote skilled or unskilled I am in the game. I do think that there are many players naturally far more gifted than I am. They can intercept better, they potentially make less mistakes and stuff like that, but you can routinely beat players that are even potentially more skilled than you are in Battlegrounds specifically, as long as you draft correctly and as long as you force them in much more unfavorable fights than you have to take yourself. And those are the things that matter, because ultimately at its basic premise, Battlegrounds as a game mode, that again, unfortunately, can't really showcase right now here, is TCG game. Obviously, with the fighting element involved, but it is a lot to do with basic card game strategy, a bit with math, and quite a few other things. And I do continuously try my best to share as much of it as I can with my viewers in general on my streams or in my videos. I will carry on doing that. But at the same time, obviously, going through something like that one-on-one and making sure that the person actually grasps the concept is obviously a lot more beneficial. So that is pretty much all there is to it. And over the holidays, obviously some people might have some free days and some time, and if you do think that 1 hour of your time would be well spent in discussion with me in a coaching session, then do reach out to me. I will leave all the relevant contact information in the video description. I will leave my Discord ID, my line ID, and email, all of whom are perfectly acceptable ways how you guys can contact me. And then we can schedule a session when, you know, both of our schedules do free up and line up. Obviously, I am in UK, so typically for my North American viewers, it will mean that for you guys, it will be sometime earlier in the day. Most likely, because I do not necessarily want to be awake at 3 a.m. to do one of these. But so far, we have always been able to find a time when both of us are available. I do that basically in between my streams or recording sessions. If I need to wake up an hour early, I do that as well. Or I move some other things around. And ultimately, if need be, I do occasionally eat on Saturdays as well. And yeah, as I said, so far, pretty much everybody has, you know, said, at the very least to me, they have said that they have enjoyed them and that they have been extremely helpful. If you do need references from players of different levels in the game, I am, again, more than willing to provide that. And I also kind of really enjoyed doing these because there is, I know, something quite cool about it. And yeah, so as always, they are $50 for 1 hour. In the first hour, we typically go over, you know, your account. We go over your champions class by class, the champions that you have ranked, and the champions that, you know, I suggest ranking up next from each class, give you some sort of priority order. Then we go over your mastery setups, and then we go over generic kind of like Battlegrounds drafting strategies, ban strategies. And then further on, if people do want more of these coaching sessions, then it's typically more specific in Battlegrounds themselves, which is something that we can't do at the moment, obviously. That would be like the second session where I basically let the player play, make comments, make critiques, give advice. I screen share my own account and I show them how I would do some specific fights if I was them, or just in general to show how some of the fights are done in order to be able to do them kind of like easier and quicker. And ultimately, it has been working fine. I have had people who already have had about 4 of these, and again, it's up to each and every single one of you how many of these, if any, you want to have. But I figured, again, since this is the off season and it can be a very good opportunity to lay in the groundwork in helping you prepare your account, in helping you prepare your masteries and potentially future rank ups for the upcoming metas, which also reminds me, I will be releasing a video on which champions to focus on for the upcoming victory track meta, more specifically. But that put aside, again, if you are interested, reach out to me. I will leave all of the relevant information in the video description, where you can contact me either on Discord or on Line App, or you can just send me an email. We can schedule a date and a time, and, you know, see you then, hopefully. That's pretty much it. And the last point is, as I said, yeah, if you do want kind of like more specific potential coaching on other things in a game, then as long as you think I can be helpful to you, obviously all of that can be discussed and done as well. So that's it for now, and I hope to see you guys soon or hear from you. See you in a bit. did with...
Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the